Love and hip hop star Mo Fayne has been given 210 months or 17.5 years in prison and has to pay back $4.4 million. The government themselves are loving the situation as they even released their own press release, and you know you're in a lot of trouble if the US government is releasing press releases about you. He pled guilty to 6 counts including bank and wire fraud. What's worse for Mo is that he cut a deal with the prosecutors and they agreed to drop 14 other charges and recommended he got 151 months, which is still 12.5 years, but the judge decided to add 5 more years onto it. I could only imagine how angry he would be at the judge for those 5 extra years. Like, I know the whole thing is bad enough, but adding 5 years would be something I would just be seething about for ages. He was facing 30 years, so he did at least miss out on some, but still pretty brutal for the judge to add the 5 years onto the deal. Prosecutors allege that he'd funded his lavish lifestyle during the pandemic with money he defrauded from the government from the payment protection program known as PPP loans. PPP loans were set up by the US government to help small businesses and their employees that were impacted by the pandemic. Unfortunately, PPP loans were exploited by a lot of people as the government to some degree put them together quickly to deal with the unexpected major issues of 2020. As a result, a lot of people found loopholes to get quick money, but the government is catching up on them now. According to the government, Mo Fayne was operating a PONZI scheme and planned to use the funds as a cover for his long-running PONZI scheme. Their press release explains the PONZI scheme as from March 2013 through May 2020, Fayne ran a multi-state PONZI scheme that defrauded more than 20 people who invested in his trucking business. Fayne promised that he would use the investors' money to operate the business. Instead, he used the money to pay his personal debts and expenses and to fund an extravagant lifestyle for himself. During the scheme, Fayne spent more than $5 million at a casino in Oklahoma. According to the Department of Justice, he submitted an application for $3.7 million, falsely claiming he had 107 employees and a monthly payroll of nearly $1.5 million. When he eventually does get released from prison, he'll also have to serve 5 years of supervised release and has to pay back $4.4 million. According to the Department of Justice, this is what he used the money for: $40K on child support, $85K in jewelry, $136K for a Rolls Royce, $230K for associates who helped him run a Ponzi scheme, $65K cash, and $907K to start a new business. Ironically, he also used $50K from this fraud to pay money owed in a previous fraud case. PPP loan fraud was so common that the DOJ created a special task force to investigate it. According to a report from the University of Texas, up to 15% of total PPP loans were fraudulent, which is pretty scary to think about. I know business can be tough and loopholes can seem like a quick way to make a few bucks, but no matter how tough, the last thing you want to do is steal or mislead the US government. If you enjoyed this, chuck me a like and subscribe to see more like it. And as always, good luck. And if you made it this far, you'll probably enjoy one of these videos too.